Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, baddies of the world, and welcome back to another fun little sexy episode of Smoke Sash. My name is Hannah, your host, and I'm so excited to be back with all of you guys. Honestly, not a lot to catch you guys up on. There is a lot I want to chat about though, okay? We got themes and things that we got to go over. I'm feeling the inspiration. I don't know what it is. I just woke up the other day and the birds were singing, the birds were chirping. They haven't done that in fucking forever. Even the swarm, the horde of birds that visit my apartment because I have bird food out. I'm talking hundreds upon thousands of birds. They'll be chirping and stuff, but they're not singing. And finally, I woke up one morning and I heard the birds singing. And you know what I felt in my soul? We're so close to spring. The renewal, the energizing energy that we are feeling right now, it is going to be here so soon, and I am so excited. So I feel like I'm going to try and carry that sing-song bird energy through this podcast, give you a little laugh, give you a little energy bright and early this morning. But I hope you're all doing well. Oh my God. One of you guys commented and was like, girl, not you and your car problems. Not you leaving that for the last bit of the episode. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it's time for me to buy a new car. I know. My last car, it's a Mazda. I love Mazda. If you need a good, reliable, fairly cheap car, easy to fix, doesn't give you a lot of problems, Mazdas are amazing. This is my second Mazda and I'm hoping to get a third. We'll see what I end up with. But she is just on her last leg of life, truly limping through the last era of her life. So after all of the, little things I've had to do to her, I think it's finally just time to put her out of her misery. You know what I mean? And time for me to buy a new car. One big financial tip that I can give you guys though is if you can, I understand with the way the economics are working nowadays, I feel like it's kind of a luxury to do this, but if you can avoid a car payment and pay for a car with straight cash, you will save yourself so much just time and energy and stress. My goal right now is to kind of just save up a fat chunk of money so I can just drop it all on a car, and then have no car payment. That first initial, I just hate payments. That is one of my banes of my existence, especially health insurance. Bitch, why the fuck is my health insurance $400 a month? I hate America. What the fuck? But imagine that plus a car payment. Girl, you're stressing no matter where you are financially. Even if you're successful, you're going to be stressing a little bit over that car payment. So I'm going to take my time. I'm going to look around. I'm going to try and find something, there's no need to rush. I think when you are really strategic and plan ahead, it just makes everything work out a little bit more smoothly. So we had to, let's see, what did we do? We got a new battery. Check. We had to get a new part of the steering wheel because the steering wheel was not reading the key. And then we had to get a new key. Finally, she's working again. Thank God. It really truly was just is my car gonna start today? Who fucking knows? Also, it was negative 10 degrees outside. That was not helping the situation. But it's time. It's time for me to start financially thinking about a car. Big girl things. I feel like I'm going into my 26th year. I'm 25 now, and I feel like 26 is truly gonna be me kind of ripping those adult band-aids off that are kind of I don't want to do this adult thing, but I'm gonna have to, such as like a new car, ouch, ouch to my bank account, probably move into like a more serious home. I know I'm gonna miss this background, but I just need space to myself. I want to get out of the chaos of where I live right now. So get serious about where I want to live, or even just traveling and visiting different places to see if I want to live there, figuring out a more secure, inspirational career, things like that. That's kind of like what 25, 26, 27, 28 I think is going to be for me. And right now I'm really just game planning and gearing up for having to deal with all of that. If you are in your young 20s though, don't worry, have your fun. The thing about your 20s is truly like you will figure it out along the way. So don't stress it so much. Seriously, stressing never, ever makes your life easier. Speaking of, I've been posting a lot on TikTok. I've been having fun over there, really just spam posting. So if you want to indulge in dumb content, go find me there. I believe I'm posting on my spam. I'm not posting on my main, but my spam is Fairy Smoke Mother. Yes. Okay, let's see what topics I have written down. Oh, yes. Talking about, emotional wealth and preserving your energy. Some of you need to learn to dissociate a bit more. I think dissociation can be healthy. Now, mentally removing yourself from the world completely, not mentally healthy. But learning when and where to invest your emotions, I think, is very, very important. And it will help you with decision making, with like your people pleasing tendencies, and with really choosing what is worth your time and energy in this life. I think it's a very important skill to learn. It's something that me and my boyfriend have been talking about a little bit. Listen, girl, if you need some money, go work for the post office. But then again, please be aware they will be working you 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts. I see my boyfriend once a week. And I feel so bad because I know he's so stressed out, and I know like the managers aren't helping, and it sucks when you have shitty managers. Managers really make or break like where you're working. Like, girl, if this place is hell, you gotta have a good fucking attitude. Like, listen, I get it's hell for you too, but like, please, you gotta help us commoners out here, the ones who are truly showing up and doing the work. So me and my boyfriend have kind of been like talking about that a lot and really working on it, because he's been coming home and I can just tell he's so stressed out from work, and like carrying it over to home life is not good, because then you feel like, your life that you do have control over, the life that is supposed to bring you joy, is also kind of tied to work, and you're suffering in a sort of sense. So I was straight up to him. I was like, dude, like, I know your managers suck and I know your job is overworking you, but I do think it's really healthy to learn like kind of emotional boundaries in that sort of way, and really learning to like dissociate from what is worth your time and what is not. Like, if you go into work and your manager has a bad fucking attitude, if she's a nasty, evil bitch, like, you don't have to take on that energy. Like, you do have power over that. And I understand being swayed by emotions is like very easy. Like, listen, I'm a BPD girly. Like, I get it. Like, being overwhelmed by emotions is very, very easy. But we do have a choice in the matter of like, do I want to let this nasty bitch really ruin the rest of my day? No. So I made a TikTok and it said, how it feels to have a man who goes to therapy after pissing me off instead of gaslighting me into thinking everything's my fault. Amen. Because my ex definitely would have done that. I mean, not would have, constantly did. Like, everything was my fault. Oh, you're mad from work, my fault. Oh, food didn't taste good, my fault. Oh, you just generally hate your life, my fault. But now, like, I love being in a healthy relationship, because I literally had to talk to my boyfriend. I was like, listen, I know this job sucks, but like, you got health benefits, girl. Like, let's get you into therapy. Like, I know you got at least 8 free sessions through your work. So he signed up for therapy and he went, and he had a great fucking time. He is not the kind of person, Scorpio, trigger warning. Like, he is not very forthcoming with his emotions. I think he gets very overwhelmed by them easily, not in like a negative way where it's like affecting people really negatively, but definitely in a way where I can tell it's affecting him in general and his overall happiness. So I was like, let's get you into therapy, girl. Like, let's fuck it. Like, sign up. What are you going to lose? You know what I mean? Like a quick little 30-minute session. Why not? And he had the best time. And guess what his therapist said? His therapist said, yeah, girl, like, we got to work on emotional boundaries. Yup. Yeah, but sometimes like you can't beat a dead horse while it's down. Like sometimes hearing it from a new perspective and a new point of view is very healthy. And like of course what I was saying was probably not as direct as what the therapist was saying, but I do think new perspectives really help you kind of process an idea a little bit more. So I'm so proud of him for doing that. But seriously, especially during this time where like we are overwhelmed with news and emotion and just like worldly chaos, like sometimes when you feel so out of control, I'm not saying like close your eyes and turn your back to what is happening on the world. I don't think that's good. We need to watch out for our neighbors and ourselves and be aware of what's going on. But if you are checking the news like every 5 minutes and it's filling you with so much dread, please be aware that like you can have emotional feelings for something and want to do something and do something about it without those emotions like paralyzing you and turning you into a shell of a human. Like all of these things are so shocking for a reason. It's because they want us to feel numb and like we can't do anything. Like you can't let the system completely beat you down into a shell of a human, overwhelm you emotionally. Like you do have to be protective of yourself and your emotions in order to be a functional human during this time. Like I feel like I really suffered with this feeling and understanding like how much my emotions affected me. I was born with everything affecting me too much all the time. I felt like I was in a river but attempting to swim upstream. But life should be like a lazy river, you know? Your comfortability is priority number one, especially when it comes to your emotions. You don't have to take on the emotions of that rude customer or stranger. Sometimes you have to pick and choose what you want to attach to, and I highly recommend learning how to do so in order to stay sane in this world. Now it is a fine balance. You can't be so connected that life is a struggle and you don't feel like yourself. But you can't be so disconnected that you shut yourself off to the world and simply float through life emotionless. You have to find yourself somewhere in the middle, and a good way of checking myself is really asking in high emotion situations where I'm sitting on that balance and if I want to choose to let this thing affect me or not. Especially like I have managers at work that I'm like, dude, you're a 35-year-old man with a coke addiction living in your mom's basement. Like, please watch your fucking attitude and who you're speaking to. But am I going to let his coke addict brain and high diva attitude affect me? No, I'm going to laugh at him in his face, turn around and walk away. Because who am I to fight with somebody and let somebody affect me that like high key is so beneath me and my time. I do think, especially in those moments, like it's a practice for sure, but like pausing and asking yourself like, do I wish to engage right now like a video game? Please really think to yourself, because most of the time you're gonna be like, this bitch is not worth my time. Okay, but I love you. That was our little lesson of the week. Honestly, great lesson, especially during this time where we're kind of shut in. The only interactions we're having are with people at work or at home. Maybe we're feeling a little overwhelmed, you know, post-holiday season, post-election season. Take care of yourself. Okay? All right. But with that being said, let's get into what's on your mind and all the questions that you guys have. Fuck it. Let's jump into something crazy. Help. I don't like swallowing. Okay, girly. I mean, listen. I'm not going to be here to tell you what to do with your life. You don't want to do it. You don't have to. Seriously, if you're up here like, girl, he wants me to swallow a bucket of his load and I just can't, like I physically can't, it grosses me out, I don't want to do it, I'm not gonna be here like power through it, girl. Especially when it comes to things sexually, like you should never, the right person will never ever ever make you feel pressured to do something that you don't want to do, period. I think there's a difference between like a healthy and loving partner maybe bringing up a kink and asking you like, would you be interested, is this something you would like to try out, like this is something I've been curious about, versus like this is the only thing that can get me off and you need to be doing it. Do you see how there's a difference there? And if it's the latter where you're feeling pressure and this man is like, no, like you have to swallow this, girl, you don't. You don't. Okay. Especially with the diet some of these men are eating. Like, what the fuck? You're only eating protein and creatine, bitch. That shit's gonna be nasty. Or even worse, like they're eating Taco Bell and Mountain Dew. Talk about radioactive. Like, of course you don't want to fucking swallow. But also, like, you know, sometimes it's part of the act. And sometimes, in my opinion, swallowing can be easier than not swallowing. Sometimes it's like taking a shot, you know? You just gotta get it over with. Because, like, what are you going to do? Hold it in your mouth and like spit it onto a towel next to you? Then you're having to deal with it longer and like be disgusted longer. Or like what? Hold it in your mouth and then walk to the bathroom? Like, girl, you might as well just like take it like a shot. You know what I mean? Now, BJ tip of the day. We're literally like 15 minutes into this episode. Fuck it. Swallowing is the hardest when you're in a BJ position of like him laying down and then you crouching like over him. I hate giving head that way. I don't know why men love getting head laying down. I mean, like, sure, like you're fully receiving, but like, bitch, the whole like the equation of it all and like the gravity of it all, like it's not gonna work. My neck's gonna hurt. It's not gonna be fun. Like when you do finally, you know, come, it's not going where it needs to. If you're giving head and you have a hard time swallowing, make sure he's at least sitting on an edge of a bed or maybe standing up and like you are upright, okay? And when he's about to, you can tell when he's about to. Trust, pay attention. Make sure that thing is in the back of your throat. I'm talking as far back there as possible. Then, almost like a straw, it's not going to touch your tongue. It's not going to touch your mouth, really. It's just going to happen. You're going to swallow. It's going to be done. Bam. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, once again, if you don't want to, you don't have to, girl. Especially, like I said, with the diet some of these men are eating, like, girl, if you don't want to, you don't have to. It is disgusting, like warm, salty goo in my mouth. Unless you're like a caviar bitch, I don't think you're gonna like it. But in my experience, sometimes just like getting it over with is the easiest. Also, with Valentine's Day coming up, girls, you know you're gonna be down there. You might as well. Happy Valentine's Day. I will swallow your load. Someone asked, how many joints do you smoke in a day? Recently, let me think about recently. If it's my day off, we'll go with it's my day off. Actually, even on the days I work, I'm like, let me get as high as possible before work. Like, let me really enjoy this day. So recently, which not the most ideal, I just have had so much cleaning to do recently. And the best way to get in a cleaning mood is to get so high that you are like forced to actually deal with the things in your life. Like you're running from the demons and then you're running straight into your life to make sure it's good. So I usually like smoke a little bowl at 11 and then a little bowl at 12 before I have lunch. And then usually like every hour until 4 o'clock. So what is that? 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 bowls a day. But I'm not talking like full bowls where it's like you're filling up the whole entire thing. And then each time you hit it, you're smoking a new section. In my opinion, that is the worst way to fill up bowls, where you're like filling it up so fucking much. And then you're having to like partition off like each portion that you're smoking. You're like smoking in fourths. No, when I smoke, I want a fresh clean bowl. I call them snaps. I don't know if they're actually called snaps. Back in high school, snaps were weed mixed with tobacco, and then we would fill the bowl with just a little bit, enough that it was like a personal hit. That is, in my opinion, the best way to smoke bowls. If I'm loading a bowl for another girly, like, I'm not loading that shit up fat, because I don't want to make another girl smoke half smoked weed. You know, I feel like that's just rude of me. So snaps are the way to go. In general, how much do I smoke in a day? I would say like one good size nug probably keeps me satisfied. Okay, so it's gotten a little bit out of control, but I don't think it's affecting me in a way that is super, super negative. My weed usage really ebbs and flows based on the season, based on what the vibe is of that time. So I'll go from smoking like 8 bowls a day to 0 real quick, trust. How to break up with someone that you love, it's just not good for you anymore. Ooh. Listen, you just got to do it. I hate to say it. You just got to do it. Let me put this into perspective for you, though. Like, it's okay to get on the wrong train. Okay? Imagine this life. Imagine this relationship. You know, oh, you got to get somewhere. You know, this is where you need to get for work or for whatever, for fun. You get on the train. All of a sudden, you look around. It's the wrong one. I'm going in the wrong direction. It happens. Don't panic. Don't stress it. What is the next logical thing to do? Is it stay on the train that takes you further and further and further and further away from your destination? Is it get on a different train line that takes you in the complete opposite direction? No. The next logical step to do is get off the train at the next stop and get on the right one. It's insane for you to stay on the train any longer. You need to make logical moves, especially if you are a woman who's like had that realization. As soon as you have that realization, you know what to do. You know what you need to do. You know it's not working. It's okay. But I'm begging you to be smart about your life and make the next step that is going to transform it into a healthy, positive way and put you onto the right track again. Boyfriend is getting Viagra at 25 years old because he can't last longer than a few minutes. I don't think Viagra's for that. I'm definitely not a doctor, but I don't think Viagra's for that. Is it like he can't last longer because he's, you know, coming too fast? Or is it he can't last longer because he's losing his hardness? Now, if he's losing his hardness, like, yeah, get him a little Blue Chew. Get him a little honey packet, babe. Like, he'll be hard for 12 hours. But if it's like he's coming too fast, you need to ask him to start doing math equations in his head. Like, if you know the sex is not lasting long enough and you need it to last longer, my tip and trick is like, if the man has no self-control and just like gives in too easily, if you can tell like, okay, you know, he's about to finish, like, stop, physically take him out of you and switch positions. I think that, like, you know, 15-second period where it's like, okay, we're not touching each other for a second and switching positions into something else really helps kind of like stop and restart that timer, you know? And also, like, if he's just coming too fast, I think you need to talk to him and be like, you need to have more self-control, you know? The only thing I could think of like you doing as a girl is just like changing positions, you know? Like, if you're in doggy and he's like about to come, just be like, pause. Let me get on top real quick. Let me control the situation before we only have 2-minute sex. But yeah, I don't think I would get on Viagra for short sex because they're coming too fast. Because unfortunately, in my opinion, I think it's gonna just make it worse. Help! I can't stop lying. Oh, interesting. I used to have a lying problem. Yeah, I did. Mine was because I felt like I wouldn't be accepted by the world for some reason. Mainly because whenever I did tell the truth, I did not feel accepted by my parents for some reason. I don't know. That could have been like a false reality I made up in my head for sure, or it could have been like a real experience. I'm not sure. That's something I need to bring up in therapy, but I definitely developed a major lying problem because of that. And when I was first institutionalized, it was actually something that me and my therapist worked on quite a bit. Like, why do I think I won't be accepted by the world? Why do I feel like I need to, pretend to be somebody else? Why do I just generally not like myself enough to speak the truth? It was majorly toxic, so I kind of had to just like rip that habit out and approach the world with like my chest bared. Basically, it really was a jump scare. And anytime I found myself like wanting to lie, especially to people in my life, like if you're lying to people in your life, like your friends, your family, that's a problem. Now, if you're just lying to like the Uber driver or a random man you meet in the bar, I call that safety. Like fuck it. We're here to have a good time. I lie so much at my restaurant job. So much, girl. I'm here to make a bag. If you ask me if that food is delicious, I mean, sometimes I'll be like, no, do not order that thing because I don't want them to hate their food. But most of the time I'm going to be like, yes, that is the best thing I've ever had. Have I eaten it? Probably not. But like, I think there's a time and place always, but you have to be careful with just like, I think being honest in your relationships builds trust. And if there's no trust in your relationship, then there is no relationship. So if you want to have a relationship with a good, solid ground, you do have to build it on honesty. But you can't become too honest. Okay? I think it's important where you need to learn to tell the truth and when you can lie, because I started telling the truth a little bit too much, and then I encountered way too many monitoring spirits, like people who would hear my truths and then kind of like prey on my downfall in a bit. The evil eye is real. People out there are preying on your downfall. People out there are going to hear your words and then put negative energy to them. So like I said with the energy thing, like be aware of whose energy you're in the presence of. And if you feel like there's negative watchful eyes out there or monitoring spirits, like in fact, I think it's okay to lie a little. Actually, I think it's the best protection spell that there is. If someone has bad intentions and energy, okay, totally. Go ahead. Lie your little heart off, all right? I had a monitoring spirit in my life like the past 6 months. And at first, you just don't know. You don't know who they are. You think, you have this blindness and positive energy to the world, which I do think you should have. And you do want to tell the truth. But as soon as someone shows you that like, oh, they have negative intentions towards me, or they don't like me, and, they're prying information out of me in order to kind of like prey on my downfall, I think it's important at that time to learn like they lose access to your truth and your honesty and what your life is, period. It's something I've been having to deal with a little bit more recently. I don't know, very odd. I feel like I've always brought very genuine connections into my life, and I'm so thankful for that. But now, more recently, maybe it's just like the restaurant industry, and I don't know, the weirdos are coming out of the woodworks, and I'm like, but it's good. They'll make their presence known. Be aware. Lying, if it's a habit where you're lying to everybody, ask yourself, like, why do you not trust yourself, or why do you think you won't be accepted? And also, like, do you want to build healthy relationships? If you do not have a foundation of trust and honesty, then period, you don't have any real lasting relationships in your life. Do you want to build those? Then you got to be honest. And also, when people do show you who they truly are, when people do like make their intentions clear, take that at face value and understand what they do and do not have access in your life to, especially those truths. I want my boyfriend to share his location with me, but he refuses to. Help. I don't know if I'm like old school, but growing up, my parents never had my location. I mean, they had no possible way of having it. They didn't know about like phone tracker. There was no Life 360 at the time. There was no possible way for them to track me. And honestly, I didn't experience the whole tracking vibe until my first boyfriend. And in my opinion, I am anti sharing location. I am. I am a reformed crazy girl. I am. And I know what will make me a crazier bitch and what will not. And simply having somebody's location will make me obsessive over checking it, over like, oh my God, his phone lagged for a minute. Like, is he at this random ice cream store? Like, oh my God, is he cheating on me? I don't need to feed into that energy anymore. Be honest with me. Text me when you're heading home. Text me where you're going. But ultimately, like, once again, if we don't have trust and honesty in a relationship, then like, it's not a relationship. You shouldn't have to have their location to get that energy or like that honesty out of them. They should just already be honest with you. Now, if you're a very casual person who's not a crazy bitch, like, sure, you can probably share locations in a very casual way. I unfortunately cannot handle that information. I can't. I will become a psycho obsessive stalker, and I just don't need to have that kind of energy. So if you're like asking for their location because you don't trust them, or you're becoming a little bit more obsessive, like, girl, that says more than anything. If you have their location, it's not going to change anything. You're still going to be untrustworthy of them, and also you're going to be like spiraling more than ever. Now, if it's just like a casual thing, like, hey, I need to know when you're getting off work, like, it's no big deal, then yeah, casually share your location. If he refuses to, though, I find that weird. What are you hiding? What are you hiding? I don't know. I approach like relationships in a very casual sense of that kind of like honesty and trust. And I don't think a location is necessary. But if you're like, hey, I just like send me updates about your day, and he refuses to do that as well, girl, I don't know. That's something I would definitely look into. Last but not least, like, you could probably just throw an AirTag in his car. Like, I guess like, if he really won't share it with you and you're like, I know he's cheating with me, like, girl, throw an AirTag in his car if you really want to find out. But ultimately, if you're a crazy girl, you don't need that location. If you think he's cheating on you already, blow him up, have a conversation. You know what you start that conversation off with? Is there something you need to tell me? And then sit in silence. Yeah, he'll tell you. So I saw something. Is there something you need to tell me? Girl, he will be flabbergasted. I've used that a couple of times in my current relationship when I was a little bit more toxic, and like, you'll see them kind of spiral, and then they're like, wait, I have nothing to tell you. Like, the real ones who have done nothing will be like, no, bitch, what are you on? You know? But the ones who did do something wrong, you'll see it. You'll see the panic set in, and then the fumbling of words, and then I don't think you have to go as far as putting an AirTag in his car, but like, if you have that distrust in your relationship, is it a relationship? Something to think about. Dude, my cat's going fucking insane. Danger. Literally, leave the squirrels alone. I don't know what he got into this morning, but he is fucking insane this morning. Every morning, this is our routine. He basically crawls all over my face until I wake up, so then he can get his breakfast. He's like, bitch, if you don't get up now, because my boyfriend's alarm goes off at 7 a.m. Girl, not mine. I'm sleeping in at least another hour. And then as soon as my boyfriend's alarm goes off, he is literally just like, bitch, get up. To the point where he'll take one nail and poke it into my skin. Like, hello. Then I give him breakfast, and then we usually play for at least 30 minutes while I drink coffee and just like scroll. But today he was lazy. I'm like, oh, so I can't be lazy, but you can? And then of course, as soon as I start recording, he's like sprinting in circles around my house. Sir, we got a little bit more time to go. You better buckle up. I will play with you in a second. Someone said breaking up with my boyfriend because he yells at me but apologized. Apologizing doesn't mean anything. If a man ever raises his tone at you and screams at you, that is extremely disrespectful. And in my book, that shit would not fly. I can't think of one time in my pretty much 5-year relationship where my boyfriend has ever raised his voice at me to the point of yelling. Now, in my last relationship, it happened at least twice a week. But for some reason, my little brain, he would always buy me flowers after he screamed at me. Best believe I always had flowers. Always had a fresh bouquet. And I was like, well, he apologized. No, apologies mean nothing if he's going to continue doing it. Literally, they mean nothing. So in my opinion, no, I do not settle for yelling. There is no reason you as a man should ever be raising your voice at me. My boyfriend won't stop gaming. It's constant and dampening feelings for him. Real as fuck. Like, how do you have no job, no career, no goals in life, but you're gold on a certain game, you're a certain level on a certain game? Sir, that shit does not translate to real life. I'm not anti-video games. Listen, scrolling on my phone, that's my own personal little video game, okay? And I'm sure I do it a little too much than I should, but I'm not letting it affect the serious things in my life. So if I were you, this is kind of an ultimatum situation where you're like, listen, I know you love gaming, but I need you to plan at least one date for us every week. Period. I need you to plan at least one date for us every week, or I need you to get a job. Whatever your situation is. I don't know what the situation is, but you can give an ultimatum. You can. Now, don't make it something that's like a dick thing to do, like me or the cat or me or the dog. Like, bitch, what the fuck? That is not an ultimatum. But like, if it's something that's like, you seriously need to get your life on track or else we can't be together, I think that's totally valid. I think that's absolutely valid. So if I were you, I'd be like, listen, you're basically in love with your video game at this point. Like, you need to plan one date a week, and if you can't do that, it's never gonna happen. Or you need to get a job by the end of the month, period. And if you can't do that, it's never gonna happen. How do you deal with art block? I have so many ideas but no motivation to follow through. Oh, girl, inspiration is not found in your phone. Unfortunately, it's found from the aimless wandering. Put that shit down and let yourself be bored. Sometimes you have to disappear for a while, get really bored, allow yourself to have some fun. It'll naturally create the energy for inspiration. I actually just tweeted, I also made a little TikTok, but it said, stop intellectualizing and start having some fun. Sometimes you can learn more from shaking ass with your friends than a self-help book. Real. Listen, the bitches who listen to this podcast, the girls on TikTok, they don't get it. Everything's like 100% or nothing. So it's like, actually it has to be a little bit of both. Yeah, duh. Hello, obviously. This is for my girls who sit here and intellectualize only, though. Like, please, you have to allow yourself to have some fun. If you're only thinking about things, they're never going to happen because you're not allowing yourself to move into the energy of actually creating. Sometimes you have to stop thinking. You can't think yourself into a perfect person. You can't. Now, of course, like I said, thinking is a part of it. You need to be able to think critically and be intellectual, but also that can't be the only thing you have going on in life, or else you're going to feel like a shell of a human and that the only world you're existing in is in your head. Sometimes, actually, in my opinion, most of the important life lessons that I have learned in my life, or the important things that I have learned in my life, were from me simply experiencing life, having no clue, aimlessly wandering, whatever, but just being bored and being like, fuck it, I'm gonna go do this thing. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to this witch circle. Fuck it, I'm gonna go to this live art class. Fuck it, I'm gonna sign up for this course. I'm gonna go to this new coffee shop. Whatever, I'm bored. I just wanna go do something. I learn way more through that than I could ever thinking over a situation over and over and over. And I know the girls here, we are very intellectualizing girls. We are very like living in our head girls. But if there's one thing I can beg you to do this 2025 that I think will have a drastic effect on your life in a positive way, is stop thinking and start doing. Oh, but I'm scared. Yeah. We all are. That girl who is out there doing everything that you dream to do, she's doing it scared. Okay, are you going to let fear hold you back, or a phone addiction, or something so surface level? Are you really going to let that affect your entire life to the point where you're going to be on your deathbed at 80 wishing you did more? Girl, it is that serious. It is. Get out there. Go get a drink with your friends. Go shake some fucking ass. Go dance to your favorite song. Go flirt with that boy. Go sign up for that class. Go move to that country. Who cares? You are going to learn more through doing than by intellectualizing. And that seriously has a lot to do with creative inspiration. As I work on like my art portfolio, me sitting here and thinking about, the perfect art portfolio, what does it need to have? That's not going to have any effect on my art portfolio actually doing good. You know what the real thing that's going to have an effect on my art portfolio being good is by doing art and doing a lot of it. Not thinking, just doing. The more you do, the more opportunities you'll have for better art to come out of it. And yes, that does include putting your phone down, forcing yourself to be a little bored, and simply creating. Someone asked, how do I shave? Are you asking like, how do I shave, or like, what do I have down there? What is this question? You know what? I did kind of want to talk about this though, because this is the year of the bush. This is the year of the bush. I feel like the early 2000s was definitely like a bald era. Like the girls were bald. They were bald. Now I think we're just like too it's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. We want to feel like women. We don't want to feel shameful about our bodies. Also, like just like the care of having to be completely bald down there all the time. Like, who fucking has time for that? This is the year of the bush. Personally, listen, how I shave is like I shave everything except for, you know, like a landing strip. It's basically a landing strip, but like a little triangle. Okay, that's all I have. But you know what? It makes me feel so much more like a woman, so much more like connected to my body. I love having a choice in how I shave. I felt like when I was younger, I had like that porn rot brain where I was like, but I'm not supposed to have hair down there. Girl, yes, you are. That is the fetishization of young women. Let's not feed into that energy. So now I think just having like a little bit of hair down there is so sexy. So sexy. And if you are brave enough to rock a full bush, that is like, that's hot. That's hot. So funny how like I'll bring up the word bush and the first thing you think about is pussy and not dick. You know, when it comes to hair down there too, I feel like some men, the porn rotted brain men will shave everything down there. That's ugly. In my opinion, I think that is ugly. Like it's just, it looks like a naked mole rat. I need like real manly man, and I don't mind like full bush on a man. I don't mind it. In fact, like I think it's sexier. I think it feels more natural. It's what your body is supposed to do, obviously. So like, why the fuck don't women do that? You know, I think men usually, once again, unless their brain is porn rotted, they're not thinking a lot about what's going on down there. So why do we as women have to think so much about what's going on down there? You know, I do want to like maybe dye my pubes. I think that would be fun. Happy Valentine's Day, babe. It's pink. Could you imagine? Oh my God. Something to think about. Or have you heard about like my friend did this one time, but you can get like bedazzling down there. I think it's called vajazzling. Maybe I'll do that for Valentine's Day. That could be fun. Either way, she will never be completely bald ever again in my entire life. Just like the itchiness and the care. It's too much to deal with. Girl, rock a bush. You'll be so much more connected to yourself. If a man, also big red flag, if he can't handle a bush, he cannot handle a woman, period. Okay, so if that man is like, no, you need to be completely bald down there, red flag, major. Girl, I'm waving it in the air, major red flag. Once again, do what makes you feel comfortable. If you want to be full bald down there, totally. But if this is like the season where you're like, I've been thinking about rocking a bush, like this is the time to do it now. 2025, year of the bush. I'm calling it. Someone asked for me to make more snack type recipes, pretty please. Oh, on Instagram at Hannah Marlene. I just made a chicken curry katsu. When I tell you I make this recipe at least once a week, go check it out. Super easy, very beginner friendly. I am posting a couple Valentine's Day recipes, but I've been thinking about making like snack plate videos because I eat a lot of snack plates, whether it's at like 1 a.m. when I'm starving and just so incredibly high, or like 1 p.m. where I need to eat like a fun little adult lunchable situation. I've thought about making snack plate videos, so if that's something you want to see, let me know. Also, at the end of this week, since it is the end of January, wow, why did this single month feel like 3 full months? What is going on? I am posting like my January favorites on my Instagram as well. Someone said I sit in the basement of my weed job and do inventory and listen to your podcast. Oh my God. Hey, queen. Hello. I love that. Okay, a couple years ago, I like uploaded a questionnaire and it was like, what are this like where do you listen to Smoke Sesh? Like what do the girlies do? You know, what is your job? And I was so surprised how many different jobs you guys had, from like ski instructor to like kindergarten teacher to like NASA scientist. Like, oh my God, you would be so surprised how many different people listen to this podcast. So maybe I'll do that again. That would be like a fun little February thing to do, because you guys are so smart and so intellectual and so like amazing and artistic, and I think you guys get into like the most interesting fun things ever, and I'm so glad that we have a community that's honestly just cool. Like we're all cool girls here. Everybody's chill, everybody's so understanding, and like even if like we disagree with each other, it's like, yeah, whatever though. I love that energy. I love that energy. That is what the Smoke Sesh is all about. The epitome of the Smoke Sesh energy. It is, we as a group of people are coming together who maybe have absolutely nothing to do with each other, like would not talk to each other outside of this, but we're all coming together for the love of those like deep, fun, silly conversations and a little weed here and there, you know? Thoughts on age gap dating / casual hookups? Hit it off with a guy at a bar. Baby boy is 22 and I'm 27. Interesting. I mean, I don't think that's a major age gap. 22 is still, like you said, baby boy though. Like, would I at my big age of 25 sleep with a 22-year-old? Probably not. Your best bet is maybe like a one night stand, but if you are seriously considering a relationship with a man under 25, please understand that he is taking absolutely nothing serious and only wants his dick wet. Like you have to be aware of that. Any man under 25 is like genuinely like, I just want to fuck and not think for a little bit and then like play video games and fuck some more. Like, I hate to say it, but they are so unserious at that age. So you also have to be unserious. Also, you guys, you really want to know what I've been dealing with this week? You really want to know what I've been dealing with this week? Hemorrhoids. Oh my God, I never thought I would be a hemorrhoid girly. When I was younger, like I had a best friend who always got hemorrhoids. I had no idea what they were until she literally bent over in front of me and pulled her ass cheeks apart, and I was like, oh my God, that looks so painful. I'm so sorry. I have never had one, but I would like to give a major PSA warning. If you ever think about doing anal, okay, please understand you might be more receptive of hemorrhoids in the future. Now, I haven't done anal in years. Anal, in my opinion, is not a weekly thing. It is not a daily thing. I am not that girl. I will never be that girl. It is like kind of like a vacation, like a special, very special thing, you know? But even though I haven't done it in a while, I've noticed that it did affect my butthole. Now, what truly helps you with like not developing them in general is just making sure you eat enough fiber and maybe using baby wipes. Been really into baby wipes. Anyways, yeah, I was like, why the fuck did I like I was doing the math on when I started developing them, and then I was like, oh, that's when I started doing anal. Something to think about. Figured I'd give a warning. But also, if you get hemorrhoids and you need like relief now, I highly recommend the Preparation H Witch Hazel wipes. They are so good. They truly have saved me this week. How to turn into a better version of yourself? Ooh, this is interesting. I feel like when I enter a transformation period, which I do this at least once a year, sometimes twice, I feel like I do spend a full good year with a whatever version of myself that I am approached by, because I do, like, when I do transform into someone new, it's fun and exciting, and like I've grown and I've changed, and I do want to live that phase out fully. So it is usually like every year I kind of like learn more and then I transform into somebody new. But when I do need to kick off that transformation period, I I love an alter ego. Like what's sexier? I love an alter ego. You know, like think about the baddest bitch alter egos ever. Nicki Minaj, Roman, Beyonce, Sasha Fierce, Lady Gaga, Joe Calderone, okay? Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana, like I think there's something so powerful about freeing yourself from the previous limitations or learned behaviors or even trauma and allowing yourself to fully embody a character of who you want to become. I think it is so inspiring. I think it is great to kind of build that delusional confidence on until it is true. It's silly, it's fun, you feel so free. And like I said, when you are able to create an alter ego versus like a new version of yourself, when you're creating a quote unquote new version of yourself and you're thinking of it in that sort of way, I feel like you do hold yourself back a lot where it's like, oh, well, like I just don't have the money, so I can't actually be that thing. Or, you know, this thing happened to me and I have this trauma, so I can't actually be that girl. Like it's just not going to work out for me. It's not good to build dreams on. It really isn't. When you're so held up by the past, which like we all are, it's okay. It's hard to kind of be able to see the future or be able to create the future that you want to live. But when it comes to completely and utterly becoming a new human being, an alter ego, somebody who is completely detached from who you are now and is truly the epitome of everything you want to be, it is so freeing. And it is a great manifestation tool to be able to fast track you onto who you are going to become. So, if you're sitting here and you're like, you know what? This winter sucked the fucking life out of me. It is time for me to grow and change and develop and blossom into the next beautiful version of myself. Don't think about like the past and, you know, being able to transform who you are now. Think about the baddest, hottest bitch ever that is completely disconnected from you and step into her. Especially as spring starts to arrive, I think it will be a very, very powerful tool. Have you ever had a stalker? No, I've never had like a real stalker. That's such a strange question. Are you? Are you stalking me? No, I'm just kidding. But this is kind of a PSA. Genuinely, like, if you're out here dating, I think this is crazy of me, but I think a man being overly clingy is like the first sign that he's going to kill you. I think that is like the biggest red flag, especially when you're first meeting. Like, if this man is like, I need to see you, I need to be around you, you're not allowed to be alone without me, like, I have to be around you, girl, that is scary. I'm scared for you. Actually, when I was younger, oh my God, I have so many crazy stories from when I was younger. I don't think I've ever told this one on the podcast before though. Story time. When I was younger, one of my besties' parents went through a pretty messy divorce. And then the mom was kind of just like dating here and there. And, you know, I'd be over at my best friend's house who just lives, you know, down the street in the same neighborhood. We'd be hanging out and occasionally we'd meet this man. Well, there was one man that stuck around. And I noticed he stuck around because like he wanted to be there. Obviously, you need a man who wants to be there. But I'm talking like we would see him bring her flowers. He would randomly show up to the house. Oh, I'm just thinking about you. Oh, I need to be over there. Like overly clingy. And I'm talking this was probably within the first month. Now, she had just gone through a very traumatic divorce, so I'm pretty sure that she was like, wow, this is amazing, like somebody actually cares for me. Absolutely, like he wants to be around me and my kids for sure. And then it got out of control. Now, I wasn't really there when it got out of control. I just know she was just like, he's not coming over anymore, like we're done. I don't know what happened. But anyways, flash forward like a week later, she's like, yeah, he keeps blowing up my phone, She told us all the drama. I don't know why she was just telling us all the drama all the time. Like, Like I am 11, girl. I mean, I'm here for the tea, sure. But I was sleeping over at my friend's house and we always slept in the front, like she had like a front living room with windows so you could always like see out into the front yard. We always slept in the front living room where the TV was. We would build like a little fort, so cute, right next to the kitchen. We go get our little snacks, whatever. Well, we are in the front living room and we are eating our snacks, watching a movie, and I hear my friend go, "Who's outside?" Girl, it was him. He was just standing outside her house. Yeah. Yeah. So let this be a PSA. Immediately, she had to file for like a restraining order. Do not come around me ever again. Like, I'm talking serious, serious stalker, like blowing up her phone. I love you. I love you. We're meant for each other. Literally standing outside her house. If you are seeing a man and he is like the love bombing overly into you, I don't think that's healthy. The same way that I think like complete apathy and just like not texting you unless he wants to hook up at 3 a.m., not healthy. But I do think these seriously scary men are the ones who get way too obsessive too fast. And I learned that at that age. Literally so freaky. You're like, who is that outside? Oh, childhood trauma. Oh, luckily I can look back and laugh. I'm sure that would have gone like a very different direction if we were unlucky. But yeah, a man being overly clingy is the first sign he will kill you. Please be safe. Someone asked fun crafts to do with my girls. I've been hosting a craft night and I want to make more. That is so cute. I love a craft night. Oh my gosh. I want to start doing that with my friends. That'd be fun. Or even with you guys, maybe I'll host like craft nights and we can all hang out and craft together. Let's see. Fun little crafts you can do. You can bedazzle lighters together. I've done that with friends. I had a friend come into town for like a concert, and so we bedazzled like our vapes and our lighters together and put little fun stickers on it. You can go to like any sort of art supply store and get that shit for cheap. You can bedazzle anything. You can order cheap phone cases online and get charms, and then just like uh I think it's pretty much just like caulking, and then you can color the caulking and like stick them on and make chunky charm phone cases, or even just like a bedazzled phone case. You can do something like spiritual and witchy, and like Valentine's Day is coming up, so maybe you do like little love spell, little love potion, love candle, love jar. Maybe you do like a bath bomb making, maybe you do a candle making. I've seen the candle painting classes. I think that is cute, but also like you can make your own candles and get essential oils and like build them yourself, melt them yourself. That could be super fun. Any sort of like silly painting night, get a couple like maybe mini canvases are always fun, and it feels like not a huge commitment, so you can do fun silly things, but mini canvases and paint. Maybe you do a collage night and you go to a thrift store and just like get a shit ton of old vintage magazines, not like the vintage that you want to keep, but like the cheap ones, and just cut it out and do fun little collage art with it. Maybe you do like everybody bring your journal and we do junk journaling together. That could be adorable. Yeah, there's so many ideas out there, but I do love an activity. Like when I hang out with friends, I do love an activity where it's like, let's do something, like let's chit chat and have something to do with our hands. My ADHD brain like needs that. Also, Valentine's Day is coming up. Maybe you make Valentine's Day cards. Like little vintage ones. Get some lace, do everything heart shaped. Like that would be so adorable. Girl, it's been so chilly. Do you have anything cozy and warm to recommend? Yeah, actually one of the items will be in my January favorites video on my Instagram, but overall I feel like warmth is created through vibe, not necessarily like just clothing or maybe food or just atmosphere. It's like all of those combined. So my ultimate cozy day is I just washed like my favorite blanket with a bunch of like gorgeous lovely fabric softener so it smells amazing and it's nice and fluffy now. A good blanket, a good pair of slippers, a comfy cozy matching set. a warm cup of tea and a long YouTube video playing on the TV, or like a movie, something like that. That is the epitome of a perfect comfy cozy moment. Oh my god, with a candle burning, girl, do not get me started. I think it's important, especially during this time where we're kind of like, inching our way out of the cold weather, to stay as comfy and cozy as possible. It will keep us mentally strong through this chaotic couple of months, until spring brings us that hope and renewal that we are all just so in need of right now. How do I become attractive to more people? Oh, this is interesting. Being attractive to more people. I don't know. I think there's two different ways you can go about it. One will actually get you where you want to go. The other one will kind of get you feeling stuck and put in a box. I think when we think attraction, we think physical looks, obviously. I think that's the first thing people think of. Now, to be attracted to everyone in a positive way, I don't think that comes from your physical looks. Obviously, pretty privilege is a thing. Those people do get a little bit easier time in this life because there's some weird psychological thing that happens in people's brains where it's like, if that person is pretty, I want to do things for them. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I do know it is a phenomenon in this life, though. Let's be real. Now, I do think pretty privilege does get you some things, but is it going to get you as far as you want? No, I don't think you can just rely on your looks to get you where you want in life. I think that is a very surface level way of going about things. And sure, like that guy might be willing to hold the door for you or take the trash out for you, but are they going to be more willing to get you the job based on looks? No. I think the best way to be attractive to people and to have people approach you in a positive sense and to generally be accepted by the world and have the world open up to you is to approach people in a positive manner. Okay? Be nice. Say please. Say thank you. Listen to them. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't just be selfish and only do what you want to do. Yes, that includes doing hard things for other people sometimes. Having those favors, though, will pay off. People will be more willing and more receptive to you if you are generally approaching life in a positive, uplifting way. Think about it. Energy is exchange. There is an exchange of energy. I think energy is a free-flowing thing, and the energy that you do put out into this universe, you do receive back, period. It doesn't mean it's going to work 100% of the time, but it is going to be more prevalent in your life if you do it more often. So if you want to be attractive to more people, if you want people to, want to gift you things, want to, give you that promotion, want to actually receive you in a positive light, you do have to approach them with peace and positivity. For real. Let me give you a basic example. When I am at work, okay, and I'm serving a table, if that table is, oh my gosh, thank you, you're so sweet, we appreciate you, asking for things in a very kind manner, understanding if things are busy, I'm giving you something for free. Period. I am. I did that at least 8 times at my last shift. We had a group of birthday girls. They were so sweet. They gave me a slice of cake. They made sure to buy a round for the kitchen. They made sure to show their appreciation. Please, thank you. They stacked their plates. Best believe I'm taking their appetizers off their bill. Hello. I also had a mom and a daughter who showed up, no reservation, which is a little iffy at my restaurant because we do get booked and busy, but no reservation. Here to celebrate my mom's birthday. They were so patient. They waited a bit of time. They were so interested about the cuisine and about me and just chatty and understanding, approaching me with a positive attitude, understanding attitude. Guess what? Girl, that first round's on me. Seriously. If you don't have to be the prettiest fucking thing in the world, but if you approach people with positive and uplifting energy, that will get you further than anything else. ever. Everybody hates a negative Nancy. Everybody hates that bitch who is constantly complaining. They, have no input other than, what they hate or what's going wrong in their life. And I get it. It's easy to get trapped in that cycle, especially in this country. But if you can save yourself and you can, really start to look on the bright side and, not let those demons get to you and continue approaching people in a positive, uplifting manner, good things will always find their way to you. Energy flows freely, and you need to be aware of what energy you are drawing into your life. I was also kind of in this mindset of lack. I don't have this. I don't have this thing. Oh, my car is breaking down. I need a new car. Like, you have to be really, really aware of energy. I know we talked about energy at the beginning, and I guess this is a good topic to leave off on. I think energy is generally so, so important, especially when it comes to manifestation and just living a positive, peaceful life. I kind of also talk about energy was in a lack mindset of, oh, but I need this thing. I'm missing out. I have to, instead of, I get to. Oh my gosh. I am in a place in my life where now I get to look at new cars, where I am able to make that necessary transition, where I am going to upgrade my life in a new and amazing way. Maybe I'm this job that I'm at is not my dream job. Oh, I'm missing out on life. I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Lack. No. I am in a transitionary period in my life. This job provides for me. It pays the bills. I am thankful to have a paying and steady job. I am thankful to be able to make a positive income in my life. It's a big difference. It really is. And if you can catch yourself when you're going down that slippery slope and kind of like get a little strict with yourself, a lot of life is kind of reparenting and learning how to parent yourself as a crazy child in your brain and an adult on the outside. And if you can catch yourself when you're in these moments of like chaos and not understanding yourself or not being aware of your energy and direct it into a more positive outlook and a more positive mindset, this life will be easier on you. Not everything is looks, okay? In fact, I would say that is some surface level bullshit. Not something you should be leaning into. I mean, the whole clean girl, aesthetic, great. Let's teach people basic hygiene. But anything outside of that, I don't think it really holds any merit. And what truly holds power in this life is your energy, your influence, the way that you approach people in this world. Have a positive mindset and a positive outlook, and the world will create positive outcomes for you. Pinky promise. Anyways, with that being said, if you want to hear more from me, come join the Patreon, patreon.com/smokeseshawty. We do a extra episode every week where I answer every single one of your questions. I know, crazy. Also on Patreon, I can get a little bit more, a little bit more wild. We can talk about harder subjects. We can talk about crazier subjects. So if you got some crazy questions, come over there. Come join me and the girls. We have a great community going on. And if you want to follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marlene, see what I'm up to, submit your question there every Sunday. But yeah, with that being said, hopefully this podcast could provide you a little bit of a positive boost, that positive outlook that you do need to approach this next week with compassion, with caring, with optimism. We're bad bitches. We deserve nothing but the best. So go after everything that you want in this life. I won't leave you without smoking with you guys. I feel like, we have to. Before we go, let's hit this. Cheers, bitches. Stay sexy, stay sane, and I'll see you all so soon. Mwah.